Okay, I want to show you my wiring diagram here. Just to let you know, I did try out to make sure I got electrical. So here's the green switch. So it does work, but I had miswired it initially. And let me explain to you what I had done. Right now there is hot wire. There's electricity into the machine. I'm going to turn it off. Back over at the source. And let me explain to you what I did wrong and how I fixed it. First of all, let's talk about the correct wiring diagram. This is the power cord coming in. I've got a white, a black, and a green. The black is hot, the white is neutral, the green is ground. Explain the green first. Green comes over, goes to this new screw that I put on the boiler bottom here, flange, or the boiler element bottom. I put this new screw in here, and then it comes from back here, and it goes back to this new terminal post here. This is where a connecting block is on the new machines. I used it as a ground for the base. This is what it's used for. So now the element and the boiler and all this part is grounded, as is the base. So that's the easy part. And let me explain to you how everything else works. So the hot comes in, and it comes all the way around and goes to the fuse. The fuse I redid because I remember on a machine I'd used once before, I did this too. I had to bend the spades up on the top here so that the base will fit on flat. So I had to take this back off and bend these at 90 degrees so that these spades would come in right without hitting the base, the bottom, the cover, however you want to call it. And then it comes back, so it goes into the fuse. The hot comes all the way around, goes into the fuse. It's thermal protected here. Then it comes back out, and so if anything blows, this is the place where it'll blow. None of the rest of the machine will be hot. So it comes across the fuse and then goes to this terminal. I think it's 2 on the switch. So it's the outside one here. It's the one facing the back, which is where the 0 is on the switch. And then once you turn the switch on, the hot comes out here, goes to the pressure stat, returns back all the way around and goes to the element. So that's the hot of the element. You may notice that everything after the switch has a red coating as well as this black shrink wrap. And so that's to let you know that that part is switched. So everything that has a red on it is switched. The rest of the stuff is hot. And so that's how the hot works, the black. The neutral is very, very simple. It just comes in, goes to the terminal 1, I believe. It's the outside terminal again, toward the back. And that's what powers the switch. And then when you turn the switch on, it comes and just runs the neutral to the other side of the element. That's it. What I did wrong, and I had to go back and look at my own green switch YouTube tutorial because it's been a while since I've worked with this pinouts, and they're not what they seem to be. You'd think that this would be hot in the middle. This is where you get the power in, and then this would be the switch part. It's the opposite of that. So this is the hot on the outside here. So this comes from the fuse in this case, and the neutral in this case over here. And then in the middle is where you pick up the switched parts. And also these power the light that's in the LED here, this little, I think it's a neon actually, that's in the switch. So that's my new power arrangement. That's make sure you get the switch done correctly. So the couple elements that I really wanted to do with this, I'll repeat these, I've repeated them several times as I've gone through this, is I wanted to first of all fuse the machine so that if there's anything that goes wrong, this fuse will blow. I used the original 156 degrees, I think, centigrade Celsius. It is a higher fuse because of the brass bottom on the element. So because this does heat up more than the stainless steel, so I didn't use a resettable one. I'm going to supply a couple extra for the owners. The other thing that I want to do is to ground both the boiler and the base, and that's what I was accomplished by doing this. And the third thing I did is that I've rewired this to American standards. The neutral really doesn't need to be switched to American standards because they're a polarized. There's a polarized plug where it goes into the source, and so you really don't need to do this. But since we've got it, I went ahead and did it. And also we needed the neutral for the switch light. But I redid this so that I have everything comes in, gets fused first, and then goes to the power, and then goes to the rest of the machine. So that's the setup, and I'm happy with it. I can't really test it yet until I tighten everything else down, redo this tube here so that it gets pressed down, so that the cover will clear it, and then I can flip this thing upside down, or right side up, finish the group head, and then test it to make sure that it's going to heat up properly. So there I am. Last task for the day before I close up. I actually have the machine ready to close up now. So what I did is I used this. This is some really cool thermal protection here that I found a while ago. I think it's made for spark plugs, but it has Velcro on it, so you can actually put it in place after you wire and everything. So I ran that around all of the old wiring from the cord here, so because that goes all the way back over here. I didn't run it over this area because it's not going to really be touching, but where it might be touching the element here, I used some of this thermal protection. The other thing I did is I pressed down on the pressure stat and lowered it in place here. So now it is, all I have to do is really tighten it up here, but everything clears the base now, the cover, as well as I just wanted to show you this screw here. That's for the other grounding screw. It didn't show up in the other video. So I think I'm all ready. After I tighten this down, I'm all ready to flip the machine over. That'll be my next task another day.